I'm sorry.
Austria, 1768. The young Archduchess Marie Antoinette learns that she is to become Queen of France. This political marriage is intended to strengthen relations between the two countries. The Empress admonishes her daughter, telling that at the French court all attention will be on her. After saying goodbye to the family, Marie and her beloved dog set out for another country. She looks at the image of her future husband, Louis Augustus. He is the heir to the French throne. The carriage stopped at the border of the two countries, where the symbolic ceremony was to take place. The Archduchess was introduced to her new maid of honor, Comtesse de Noailles. Marie hugged the woman warmly. Such behavior was alien to the French. The maid of honor explained to Marie that according to tradition, she must say goodbye to her fellow travelers and leave everything Austrian behind. From the tent she will emerge as the Dauphin of France. Maria hugged her companions goodbye. She almost cried when the beloved pet was taken away from her, but that was the custom. Etiquette must be strictly observed. Marie was also stripped of her Austrian outfit and changed into a French dress. The delegation continued on their journey, which soon came to an end. First the Archduchess was introduced to King Louis XV and then to Louis Augustus, her future groom. The noble French ladies scoff at the Archduchess, for she seems very naive. Soon Marie was escorted to the palace at Versailles. Everything here was new to her. In France it is customary for aristocrats to behave with restraint, so Marie stood out against their background of sincerity and kindness. Soon the wedding took place. The ceremony was held at the highest level. The people here are different from the environment Marie is used to. Louis put the ring on her finger and kissed her on the cheek. Then their marriage was documented. Afterwards there was the ball on the occasion of the wedding. All the guests discussed the future queen, who does not behave as befits a French lady. The king gave a toast in honor of the Dauphins of France, who would take the throne. In the evening, fireworks were set off. After the celebration, the newlyweds were escorted to their chambers. The priest said a prayer, and the king wished Louis and Marie good luck.
Good luck. And good work.
In the morning, the king was displeased to learn that nothing had happened between the newlyweds. When Marie was awakened, she was confused to see many women around her. Comtesse de Noailles explained that every morning there is a dressing ceremony. It is attended by all the noble ladies of the court. It is a great honor to dress the Dauphin, and only the women of title have this honorary right. It was strange to Marie that she was not allowed to do many things on her own. After the dressing ceremony, breakfast was served. Louis and his wife were surrounded by many courtiers. Marie tried to make conversation with her husband, but he answered all her questions in monosyllables. Marie smiled a lot, even while praying. It was not customary here, and Comtesse de Noailles constantly reminded her of the rules. At dinner, the aristocrats engaged in small talk. The king was not shy about appearing here with his mistress. The Comtesse du Barry was not formally of noble birth, but the king granted her the title. The other noblewomen were constantly gossiping about her. That night Marie slept without her husband. The next day he left for the hunt, and did not show up until late that night. Marie tried to show tenderness to her husband, but he said he was tired. Soon Ambassador Mercy, sent to Vienna by the Austrian Empress, reminded Marie that her main task was to bear the future king a son, but the Dauphin neglected this obligation. Marie said it was not her fault, since the husband showed no interest in her. After reading her mother's letter, Marie was upset. The Empress wonders why her daughter makes no effort to arouse the husband's passion. This could jeopardize the Franco-Austrian alliance. Because Marie did not want to let her family down, she tried to get closer to the husband, but he pretended not to notice her attempts. Marie did not understand what was wrong with her. Life at the French court was not easy for her. In addition, the Comtesse du Barry began to look at her strangely. As time passed, Marie still did not fit in with French high society. The mother, extremely concerned about the daughter's situation, wrote to her again. The Empress does not like the fact that Marie does not establish a friendship with the king's favorite, Comtesse du Barry. The mother insists that the daughter correct this omission. All the court ladies consider du Barry a fallen woman. She used to be a commoner, but ability to manipulate men gave her a position in society. At court du Barry reappeared in a bright dress. All the ladies defiantly ignored her. Marie grows increasingly tired of such a life and does not understand how she can mend the relationship with her husband. One day Ambassador Mercy tells her that Comtesse du Barry wants to present her with some diamonds. Marie declared that she did not intend to be friends with the promiscuous woman, but Mercy reminded her that she should not show contempt for the king's favorite. In addition, Marie could not lose favor with His Majesty, because her marriage is not so strong. The Dauphin had no choice but to force herself to say a few words to du Barry. It was the only thing she was willing to condescend to. While the king was having fun with du Barry, Louis Augustus was reading a book about machinery in bed. This interested him much more than his young wife. One day Mercy informed the Dauphin that, as a result of the civil war in Poland, Russia and Austria had obtained 1/3 of the Polish territories at their disposal. This put them in a quandary, since Poland was a friend and ally of France. However, Marie does not care about all these political problems. Louis is going hunting for a few days. Marie fears that the brother Louis' new wife will become pregnant before she does. This would humiliate Marie in the eyes of the entire court. The king told Mercy that he did not intend to break the alliance with Austria, but that he was concerned that his grandson and Marie were not living as husband and wife. His Majesty sent a royal doctor to their chambers to make sure Louis was well. One day, when a performance in the Royal Theatre was over, Marie began to applaud. It turned out to be unacceptable here, but following the Dauphin's example, the audience began to applaud as well. Marie received another letter from her mother. The Empress informed that Marie's sister was pregnant and that her brother's wife was also expecting a child. This threw Marie into despair, for she was disappointing her family. That night Louis finally began to show interest in his wife, but almost immediately apologized and turned away. During breakfast, the excited maid of honor came running to Marie and told her that Comtesse de Provence had given birth to a child. The boy is destined to become the new Prince of Bourbon. Maria congratulated the Comtesse with a smile, but in fact it was false. Everyone at court believed that she was barren. Left alone, Marie could not stand it and cried. Maria's carefree court life continued. All day long she with the noble ladies tried on new shoes and dresses, ate desserts, drank champagne, and gambled. The Dauphin had no other occupation. One day, after drinking too much alcohol, the aristocrats decided to go to Paris for a masquerade ball. At the party, Marie had fun all night with her friends. Her husband was also there. At one point Marie noticed a handsome young man who was also interested in her. It turned out to be a young count from the Swedish army. Marie openly flirted with him, but did not allow herself too much. Louis was uncomfortable here, and he begged the wife to leave, but she, unlike him, was having a wonderful time. The aristocrats did not return to the palace until morning. The couple learned that the king had contracted smallpox. He did not have long to live. The priests could not take his confession while he had the mistress, so the king had to banish Comtesse du Barry. When the king passed away, Louis prepared to take his place. Soon the coronation took place, and the crown was placed on the head of Louis XVI. Marie is now his queen. Marie's birthday was celebrated on a grand scale. The new queen did not change her love of entertainment. The husband tried to persuade his wife to go to bed, but she decided to stay with the guests. In the morning they went to meet the dawn, feeling free. The king and queen's chambers were a terrible mess. Marie woke up in the chair, feeling ill after the party. In the afternoon, Mercy informed her that she had already spent a huge sum this month. There was nothing left for charity. Marie didn't care because she was in a hurry to try on new wigs. Meanwhile, Louis was trying to delve into political affairs. The Americans ask for help in the revolution. The advisors recommend that the king assist America in this and send funds there. He agrees. Marie received a visit from her brother the emperor. She is delighted to see him, but the brother begins to lecture her. He believes that the sister's gambling addiction and her endless parties will do her no good. Since Marie could not be influenced, Joseph decided to discuss it with Louis. The young king assured him that he would fulfill his marital duty. That same night, Louis finally shared the bed with his wife. Marie was happy. 9 months later, she gave birth to a baby girl. Even though it was not a son, Louis was still glad. The girl was named Marie-Therese. The queen enjoyed babysitting her daughter, but the maid of honor reminded her that it was up to nannies, not her majesty. The king gave his wife a mansion as a gift. Now Marie had a place where she could be away from the tedium of palace life. On the whole, the queen's life had not changed. She still did not burden herself with any responsibilities. Several years have passed. Marie still lives in the mansion with her daughter. The place became her personal paradise. From time to time Marie was visited by her friends. The queen likes the village carefree life, but not everyone is satisfied with this behavior of the king's wife. Mercy tried to influence her by reminding her that she must maintain her authority. Soon Marie gave her first performance at the theater. Normally a queen does not engage in such hobbies, but her husband was okay with that. The king paid a visit to his wife in the village and asked her to come home for a ball in honor of the soldiers. Marie did not mind attending the ball. She was introduced to the generals, including Count Axel Fersen. Marie recalled that she had met him earlier at the masquerade. They kept their eyes on each other all evening. At the party, as usual, there was a lot of drinking. Marie, nothing shy, flirted with Fersen, and some thought it was unacceptable for the queen to behave in this way. After waiting for everyone to fall asleep, Marie went to Fersen's chambers. A secret affair ensued between them. Marie finally knew the passion that the husband could not give her. Fersen soon left Versailles. The queen's life returned to its former dull course. She was constantly thinking of her lover. Louis was told that the people in France were starving and that discontent was brewing among the folk. In spite of this, the king intends to continue to help America. Marie learned that the own folk hate her. While people starve, she spends a lot of money on dresses and jewelry. But Marie doesn't care deeply about public opinion. One day Marie received terrible news: her mother had passed away. The queen felt devastated. A year later she gave birth to a son, fulfilling the dream of her husband and country. All the court rejoiced over the birth of the heir. However, the French increasingly hate their queen. Now when she applauds in the auditorium, no one imitates her, people look at her with contempt. The king was told that an angry mob had seized the Bastille. Most of the nobles prepared to flee the palace, but the king and queen decided to stay. Marie said goodbye to her ladies-in-waiting, who were her close friends. Ambassador Mercy was also about to leave. When Louis learned that a huge crowd was moving directly toward Versailles, demanding bread from their king, the royal family still did not change their mind. During the night, however, the situation took a turn for the worse. Marie was horrified to see angry people outside the palace. The king and queen were forced to flee with the children. In the final shots we see the ruined chambers of the queen.